What's up, y'all? It's just Rhonda, and I'm not all by myself today. I have the lovely Queen Catherine from the Queen's Court joining me today. How are you, Catherine?
I am fantastic. How are you, Rhonda?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm better now. We've been trying to get this thing going, and I'm so glad that you're here today. I want to first thank you for coming over here. I know time is very valuable, and I appreciate you sharing your time with me.
Thank you. Well, you are important to me because you were my first, so you were important.
Well, that's special. I like to hear that. I often wonder, like, how do people find me? I'm such a small creator, and I've had the blessing of having some people come over and talk to me, but the girls don't come. So I'm really excited. Like, you're my first woman queen over here. I feel like this is the best place to start if, the girls all get on board. I know your favorite color is green. I'm gonna get straight into it.
I see you're wearing green.
Green is my favorite color. So, I was like, oh, I got green. What's your sign though?
What would you guess?
I'm gonna guess Aquarius.
Okay, I've heard that before, so you're not the only one. I wanted to do this with all the castmates. I think I'm gonna make a post and do that. That would be fun. I am a cusp Cancer, Gemini cusp, June 22nd.
This is so funny because I'm a Capricorn.
Oh,
so that's the yin and the yang.
Yeah.
And my best friend is a Cancer. This is funny because you said your favorite color is green, but you're always wearing pink. And I feel like there may be something there. My best friend is a Cancer. She's a pink and I'm a green, but if I'm not in green, I'm a pink girl. So
shout out to the AKAs out there. I'm not, but shout out.
I'm not either.
Ladies.
I didn't pledge anything, but it is what it is.
All love.
So we grew up in similar surroundings. I'm from Flint. You're from Detroit. Detroit is always like our big cousin.
Yes.
My cousins used to come to Flint and act like they came from the city. And we're like, you're just over there.
Yeah. A car ride away. Yeah.
So,
but that's very true. We're very much cousins for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm a GM baby. So I grew up, my mother was a single mother, and, I grew up with the luxury of being a child of a GM employee. So what was it like for you growing up in Detroit?
Detroit is very, it can be both urban and have somewhat of a Midwest feel. Hi, Ariel. We said we welcome you to join too. I sent you the link. Ariel is the biggest supporter. Shout out to Ariel.
Ariel. Dr. Ariel, I like to call you doctor. Doctor.
Muscle woman. Detroit is very diverse because, from music to automotive to chess, right? To sports. It's very diverse. We have one of the largest Chaldean communities in the country here neighboring Detroit. And so very rich in culture and unique personalities. I think that because we embrace who we are, it's not hard for Detroiters to be authentic. Mm-hmm. Like we're very comfortable with who we are.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any siblings?
I have tons of siblings.
Yes.
I have
so many.
I have 4 brothers. So Gary, Markham, and Marlon, Mark, I was going to give him nicknames, Joseph, Mike, and one sister, my only sister will always be my sister, Marshall Montgomery Favors. Shout out to Tasted Black Spirits and the Detroit Black Film Festival.
Nice.
Thank you.
Where do you fit in to the group?
The second from the youngest, but I can be a matriarch, which is interesting. I feel like I tend to just step up. I have the most heirloom photos in the family. I collect those. Those mean something to me. I can be an old hen in that sense. Legacy means something to me.
Is your sister older or younger?
She won't tell. She won't let me tell. We're almost twins. I'm just joking. I will say I'm the second from the youngest, and I have a younger brother.
Okay, because you said you tend to be the matriarch, and if there's all these boys in front of you, that doesn't surprise me because, child, they always gonna need some help.
Today.
Today, yesterday, all the time.
Right.
It's nice to have a sister. I have one brother, one sister. They both passed away, but they were out of the house. They were 17, 18 when I was born.
Oh,
So
wow.
I have siblings, but I grew up like an only child.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't become the matriarch until, I had my own children.
So how many children do you have?
I have 3. I have a son there's big gaps in my kids' ages. I have a son who's 37, he'll be 38. And then my middle child is 25. She'll be 26 next month. And then my baby is 19.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah, there's like big gaps. I just became a grandma last year.
Oh, congrats.
Yeah.
Congrats. Boy or girl?
Boy.
Nice.
Boy, and we have a girl coming in the next 2 months.
Oh, you're busy.
They're gonna be like twins. Yeah.
Well, keep me posted. I like to see good news and good babies, and I don't know if you can be in Michigan, so please do.
My family's still up there, so
well, say hi, Rhonda.
Yeah, for sure. When we come,
hi, Elsid. Hi, ladies.
Elsid in the house. Elsid is my girl. She's
my girl too. Yeah, I love her.
She's been riding with me, keeping me going. So growing up in a big family,
mm-hmm.
Who were your biggest influences growing up?
Well, it's interesting. It was a lot. I think there were a lot of influences. I felt like I was very much open. I was an observer. And so we have a large family. So some of my relatives taught me how to crochet, taught me theater and things like that. So I have so many. My Aunt Bev, who was on the show, really stepped up when I was younger. She's, I won't say her age. I was almost going to say it. But she really stepped up with taking me and exposing me to things. That's why it was really important for me to add her on the show. I lost my parents. She's the closest, and she's so timeless herself, right? You've seen her.
I mean, they said Bev should have been one of the contestants. I feel like she might have been up in there doing things.
She would have given us a run for our money for sure. For sure. So
I feel like, I left Flint when I was 13. My mother retired and moved to Florida, small town Ocala. So it was definitely a culture shock. I feel like when, in Flint, I was definitely exposed to a lot of the arts. There was, Alvin Ailey Dance Company. And, we grew up doing ballet, tap, all the things that, were art. And then I came down here and it was a little different. So I had to, I don't want to say conform, but navigate my way through in a different way. I heard you mention that you were married young. So from 19. A young age to
19.
19?
Yes.
Yeah.
19.
So what was that like, being a young wife?
It was great. I had a great marriage, never yelled, never had hurtful talk or anything like that. And that's why I'm very protective about how men talk to me. Because even like my husband, who is the highest man above all men, never talked to me like that. So it was a great marriage. We just were on different paths spiritually. And because we married so young, it became awkward. And I felt like I wasn't able to soar and be my best self.
You didn't know who you were even at 19.
No, you don't know.
Yeah.
And I absolutely did submit to him. As I shared before, whatever my husband said was law. And I could trust him. And he trusted me. We were really good friends. And it helped to surrender to him because he would listen to me. And he would always say, my wife is smart. And I would say whatever, was on my mind. He would listen. And I trusted that he would make the leadership decision for us. And it was easy. I loved being married because it was predictable. I had my one assigned love partner. That I love that. I was like, I'm good. I'm set for life. Um, and things are just predictable. The family, and I love to cuddle. So just having that warm person that you can retreat to for your sanctuary is just a beautiful feeling.
How was your relationship with your dad? Do you think your relationship with your dad had any influence on your husband that you picked?
Okay, she's psychoanalyzing y'all. She in her
No,
bag.
she's not.
Yes,
She
she
knows me.
knows. Well, it's working. So, very good question. Little black book didn't even ask me that. So, yay.
I got more years on me than he do.
I
He get
know.
there.
I know. So, I would say so. My dad and I, well, he wasn't very hands-on when I saw him, but he wasn't very engaged, I would say. And but he always gave me wisdom, was very supportive and things like that. So my relationship with him, I can't say really influenced marriage. I think because I was on my own and I was so excited to start my own life, I could imagine how I wanted to build my family. And when I got married, I thought, okay, I made a good choice. He's a good man. You know, we get along. I'm safe, and we have a lot of common goals. He was handsome, fine girl, fine.
I was just about to ask you that.
Oh, he was fine. My husband was fine. We would go places. I was like, just go on and enjoy my husband. But I really liked designing my life, and I think that pushed me more. I saw my friends, and I saw that people lived better when they had a partner. My friends and their parents, and I thought, okay, I can have a good life. You know, I don't have to figure out life by myself.
My mom, she divorced my sister and brother's dad, and then my father passed away when I was 2. But my aunts and uncles, like everybody around me, was married. So I grew up like, my aunts, there wasn't even a whole lot of divorce going on. I can't think of anybody that got a divorce. People were like, so my influences were definitely happy marriages, but I never want to get married. Never.
Well, are you married, Rhonda? So
Never.
you never wanted to.
No.
Okay.
I'm in a relationship, and I am a relationship girl. My relationship that I'm in now is 6 years, and the one previous was 17 years. That's the father of my girls. So I don't like being out in the street. It's,
Right.
But I prefer, having my person, but I don't want to sign any contracts.
Okay, Rhonda, you will be one of those couples where you get married and then the houses are next door or down the street.
Yes.
On the property. Yeah.
I watched my sister and my brother-in-law. They were together for 12 years. They got married. I think they probably only stayed married for 2 or 3 years, but they were best friends. Like, it was like they never weren't together. And they did. They lived around the corner from each other.
And I think that works because you miss them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So you got married young. How old were you when you became a mom?
We waited a couple of years. I was 22, almost 23. I think I was 22 when I had him. And it was strange because I felt very grown getting married. I was like, ooh, I have a husband. Mm-hmm. But becoming a mom scared me. I was reading every book. I was like, oh my gosh, like this is forever. Like I'm responsible for him and me.
How did that help at all? Did it?
It did. I was very much active and with him, and I wish he was here. I could have him talk too. But I tell him too that he helped me to become a woman. Most of my adult life,
Your son is the oldest then?
Yes, he's my oldest. Okay. And he is, oh my God, one of the most beautiful souls you could ever meet. Just a beautiful spirit. And it was a pleasure becoming a mom. And he made it very easy. Very easy. So.
And then what's the age difference between the two? Because you said your daughter is in medical school, or
Yes. Yeah. And not the show made it seem like I have one kid. I said, you can get me shot back home. My daughter's 22. Her birthday is next week. She'll be 23. And we have Libra. Yes. Libra. Yes. Yes. And we just went to church yesterday. We were talking about what we're going to do for her plans. So
my Libra baby is, she's a very sweet. She tries to act like she's like Billy Badass, but she's probably one of the sweetest people.
Okay, so let me ask you, Rhonda, since you have a Libra too. They're very, for my daughter, she's very black and white. Like she's very definitive. If she makes a choice, it's that. And then
I don't know. I feel like my daughter can be very undecisive, but because she needs to make sure everything is balanced, I feel like.
Sid said she had all the male friends as Libras. Let me try that out, Sid, because I don't know.
All her male friends are Libras. I feel like the men are different than the women, so you can't. I don't even feel like it's a different book.
Mm-hmm, those scales are strong, Sid. Yes, they are. Yes.
But I do feel like once she's made up her mind, her mind is made up. You're probably not going to change it. Mm-hmm. And she thinks she's right about everything, and she thinks she knows everything.
And I give her space to do that. I'm like, okay, we'll go.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But that's cool. Like, I'm sure you're very proud that she's, my daughter, I don't know what type of doctor that she's studying to be, but my daughter, like I said, last year, she was going through her whole pregnancy journey, and we went to one doctor, and he was white male. Mm-hmm. And I just was like, okay, this ain't it. So I went on a mission to find her a doctor of color, and her, she had a black, OBGYN, her whole experience was so beautiful. I was like envious because I was like, I didn't even have this, the relationship. Even now, like she still communicates, with her doctor that, she had for her first pregnancy. So
they probably still text. And I do want for my daughter, she's a beautiful spirit too, very just giving, thoughtful, caring. And I want better for her than I have. We want them to have, everything we didn't have, but I also want her to have everything I did have. So I try to, just communicate, even now that she's older. I don't know if you do this, Rhonda, but some of the conversations I didn't have as a teen with her, I do have now. Some of those hard stories, or, do you share more openly?
For sure. Mm-hmm. For sure. Probably too much. I think, I don't know. And with my son also, we've had conversations that I feel like he's taught me so much about how men think and how they move, because we were able to have open conversations. I felt like when they were little, if they asked me, I was going to tell them, I feel like there's a way to answer a question. So whatever you ask me, I'm just going to tell you the truth. And, that's just kind of how we maneuver as,
that's good.
Parent and kids.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
So how long were you married?
7 years.
7 years, which, is not a long time. So then you were still very young, when you divorced. So I heard you say that you've been engaged many times. What has kept you from, taking a big step?
Premarital counseling. So marriage is a good idea. And a lot of men will ambitiously say, the Lord told me you're my wife. Similar to the show. When Kalia said that, it was a peeve of mine. I was a ministry lead at church, and I would have guys. You ever had this too? Sid, please chime in too. Or Ariel, if you're there. Men will say, oh, woman of God, oh, praise the Lord, sister. And they just talk to you as their game like that. And they'll say, oh yeah, the Lord said that you're my wife. And I would always say, well, let the Lord talk to me, because I'm like this.
Then we both know.
So I would always require premarital counseling. And then it uncovers things that life, will unfold. And most of them were dissolved amicably and through conversation and say, hey, you're just not my king, similar to the show. And that's okay, because it's a good idea, but you have to have harmony. I was more of the heathen. I said, the Lord didn't call my number. Sid is crazy.
He is a mess.
So she's so crazy.
Oh my God. The Lord called her number more than once. She's been there.
But so and shout out to some of my ex-fiancés. I'm grateful because I always was in serious relationships and not really just juggling a bunch of folks. But being a mother, I prioritize what would be wise for the household. So if they had children, we had to consider how would that harmonize, or if they had elements within their life that would not afford a good household, I had to make a decision for my children.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. I feel like I stay single probably, well, I'll say when I had my son, I was in my 20s. I wasn't interested in locking down on anything. I lived in Atlanta. I was having the time of my life. I couldn't have even told you what I would want in a husband. And then when I moved back to Florida, I got involved with my daughter's dad. And I don't know, I just never wanted to get married. We were together for a long time, and marriage isn't just something that I wanted to do. By then, my son was in his teens, so it wasn't really, didn't really affect my decision so much because he was in high school getting ready to graduate. And so, yeah, I think when you have children, the person that you're bringing into your life definitely has to, you have to blend that. And I feel like that takes time. I don't know for a lot of people, but I feel like it takes time to build relationships. And if they have kids and you have kids, and what does that look like? And yeah.
And that premarital conversation that Janae and Carlos had was very real. And at this station in life, I feel like that because, I have children, I have assets, I have legacy things. And then when you come together, that can become commingled. I don't feel entitled to my new husband's all of his estate if he has children, and and I don't feel entitled. I feel like I'm set on my side.
I agree.
And so it becomes complicated at this station in life.
I feel like that's such an important conversation.
It is.
My God, we got Bree in the house. Bring on the queens.
So I think, so to Sid's point, and I know Bree's joining, premarital counseling, I think the first ring should be a tiny ring. It's like, here's my interest. And then once, the premarital, we do it backwards, where the guys get the big rock and spend all the money, and then it tanks or can tank. But I think that premarital counseling should come before all of that.
What about, this isn't a real thing, but in my head, like, what about contract renegotiation? Like after 5 years and instead of anniversaries, maybe we could figure out a way to renegotiate our contract to see because we're not the same people year after year, So maybe marriage licenses should expire and have to be renewed, just like, my cosmetology license.
Oh, see? Yeah, that's what Sid's negotiating right now in the chat. But yeah,
I wasn't mad at the promise ring. And it's so funny because my partner was like, promise ring? That's like high school. And I was like, I'll take a promise ring.
Yeah, a commitment ring. I agree.
The commitment. Yeah.
Yeah. Is Bree joining? She's there?
Yeah, she's there.
Let's cool. Bring Bree up. Yay. I can share. I love me some Bree.
Queen Bree.
Hi. Oh my gosh. Catherine, I'm going to kill you.
Just say, I love your hair.
Don't you just love her? Why are you going to kill me? I love you.
because I thought you wanted me to watch something. I did not realize I was coming into the studio. So I am just out here fresh from coming from running errands. Like, oh, okay, I'll pop in and see what it is, like whatever it is that she's watching. And it's an interview. So yeah.
Well, fortunately for you, you're gorgeous. So Miss Chocolate Thanos.
Miss Chocolate Thanos.
Yes, sis.
It's me. Oh my God. I am never going to live that down, I'm sure. But it's fine.
I mean, it was accurate. It was an accurate description.
So let me love on Bree for a second. Bree she has such great one-liners. And the show did not use her enough in terms of fashion, her natural hair, her natural beauty, her one-liners, her suaveness. They did not use it. We need a reunion.
I do want to say, y'all definitely need a reunion. That would be so good. I don't know why there's no reunion. Also, I feel like I didn't watch the Queen's Court because I'm going to just be honest. I wasn't a fan of any of the queens, so I wasn't interested to see what the show was about. But when the Kings came, I was so excited to see women that were all like professional, and even like there wasn't even any real ratchet behavior over here. It was just nice to see, Black women on a platform as big as Bravo with a lot of positivity. Yeah. And Miss Bree came with her natural hair, which I was loving.
I did. And I'm actually surprised that so many women have commented that they are so happy that I had my natural hair and I was showing it and it was out. They loved the color and all of that. But they were like, I'm just so glad that, you wore your hair out. And I did it on purpose because I was like, I'm just going, I will bring my flexi rods and I'll do whatever because, we'll have all this time and all these dates and all these styles that I was going to create and all of that in my natural hairstyle. So I did bring one emergency wig just in case, but I never had to use it.
Oh.
So y'all didn't know about that.
No. They would have probably let you have it. The internet probably would have went wild if you would have put a wig on because everybody loved your hair so much.
Well, fun fact, it looks exactly like my hair. So you all have already seen it. You just don't realize it.
We don't know. Now I have to go back.
No, it wasn't on the show, but like if you were on my Instagram or on my anything like that, you can see that I have it looks exactly just like
emergency wig.
I was like, listen,
I'm gonna go look. I'm gonna try to vote. Let's go. Everyone watching this, go to her page and go vote and see
which one you like.
Right.
I mean,
where are you from?
I'm from Maryland, originally.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm from
so Catherine, you said you lived in Maryland.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah.
What was that like compared to living in Detroit?
Maryland is great because it's close to everything, close to DC. So you can go to the Poconos skiing, you can go to the beach, Ocean City, New York in 3 hours, Potomac, So I love DC is just saturated with academia and government. So museums and shows, right, Bree?
Yes, it is. I because I've grown up there, I've never wanted to no, I'm gonna stay here, whatever. I'm a very big city girl. So I was like, I'm busting out of here, I'm moving to New York. And that's exactly what I did after school. So I have always wanted to do that. So that's what I did. But as far as Maryland being kind of like the epicenter for a lot of things, like culture is really there. You can't beat Chocolate City, especially back in the day. That it's just there's a lot of culture that's there. And I really appreciate that. On top of you have people that are in government, you have people that are in law, you get all of that too, which is very rare for, I think, large to medium to large cities to be able to have all of that so close. Politics play a very big role in dating and just who and meeting and mingling, because obviously DC is right there. But shows at the arena, all of the things, all the shows come there. So it's a really great place. It is residential enough, but also city enough for people who are looking for the in between, where you don't want to go, you know, full country or full city.
And it's green. The highways are even green. Detroit is not like that. Like Rhonda's from Flint, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Detroit is not green. Flint is not green. I did get a chance to visit DC. I was living in Atlanta at the time. DC is probably one of the only other places that I visited that I was like, I could live here.
Yeah,
there was something about the city that I really liked a lot.
Yeah, it does. It's got the history, the jazziness, the fun, the nightlife is there too. So yeah, it's got pretty much everything.
I would move back.
Yeah.
I would move back. Bree, and you live now?
I can't deal with the snow.
I know. She's in Florida. So where do you live now, Bree?
I live in Los Angeles right now. I go back and forth between here and New York. You know, those are my two places. So yeah, but I live in Los Angeles. So, you know, very spread out.
She's a bi-coastal queen.
Hollywood. Queen. I actually just got back from New York a few days ago, and I will be leaving to go back there in like 2 weeks. So yeah. So that's pretty much me. I do travel a lot. So I know as far as like dating and relating, that's going to be something that has to be a part of the plan too.
Okay. So what do you think the men choices, LA or DC, Maryland area?
Ooh.
Oh, I'm going to probably say DC, Maryland.
Same.
Because they definitely are going to approach you a lot quicker. They're just like, I think it's that kind of like the
more
feelings
real.
Have it's like and like kind of how I was talking about like the politics, like they want to know things, they want to investigate, they want to find out. They're like, hi, who are you? I saw you from across the room. Like they're gonna be in there a little bit more.
I feel they have a pitch too. They have like a pitch method, right? Don't you think so? They knew what to say. I felt like they had a good.
Yeah, I feel like in LA, people like you make eyes with people and then that's it, and you're like. Was the conversation that we had, or the classic one that I hate is you will be in the same space with a man making eyes, like, you know, you're doing the little smile from across the room, you're not, you know, all following all the rules, you're not with too many women, you know, whatever, you know, you're like all of this, so you're like, all right, fine, I've played enough of this game, you're getting ready to leave, and then they come over and be like, hey, are you leaving? I'm just about to come over. Were you just about to come over? We've been here for 2 hours. You're just about to come over. So yeah, that always happens too.
So let's get into the show. What was your expectation going into like auditioning for this reality show?
We're both looking at each other. I would say, so first of all, my girlfriend encouraged me, and it was like a buddy system type thing, and it was for a different show. But I didn't know what to think. You know, I did know it was in Atlanta. I did know that there was an opportunity to live in a house with others, but I didn't really know a lot of I did know that they were celebrity men, but not who the men were. We had an extensive pack list.
The packing list.
The pack list was crazy. If we could show that, it was nuts. And
How long were you there?
A couple of weeks.
Okay.
Like 5 weeks, I think.
Something.
Ooh, that's a long time.
And so I didn't expect. You don't know what to expect with reality, you know. Because it's reality, altered reality. That's what they should call it. Edited reality.
It's absolutely, I would say it is a social experience for sure. Any reality show, I think, is, especially when you're keeping people in a house. Like, we're not allowed, like, we don't really have our phones. There's no TV, there's no radio. So you are blocked out from a lot of stuff happening. So you really are just.
What did you do? Like, did you bring books? Like, how do you entertain yourself?
I brought a book. I brought a crossword puzzle book, and I brought something to read, but you're not really like there's downtime, but in that downtime, you're definitely sleeping or trying to, you know, chat to somebody else or whatever. Yeah. Like you're not bored. I'll say that. you're never bored.
That's right, Sid. I didn't expect breakdancing. That's funny, Sid.
Right. Like which was a wild date. I really wish that I wish that some of the dates were less attuned to the guys than like the sportiness, because every woman in the house was like, can we just go to dinner? So we wanted to like have like a dinner date.
I think that's what we wanted to see. I mean, it was all we wanted to see, like the connections. Okay, so Bree, you come in as a terrible basketball player.
Listen, I know. Listen, I'm gonna have to post the proof that ball was terrible.
It was the ball.
I can at least dribble a ball. Listen, I have all this height. I understand it's going to waste, but whatever.
How tall are you?
I'm 6 feet tall.
See, I think that's amazing. I'm 5'5", but in my head, I'm 6 feet tall.
Same. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just it's pretty normal for me, but like I never really learned how to play basketball. I can dribble the ball, I can shoot the ball. I made the basket on the show.
You made the basket, so
yeah, so I can do those things. But
football, come on, Bree.
Oh God, yeah, we played football.
Bowling with the football.
Wait, Sid is 6 feet too, also? Wow, she's 6 feet also. Go ahead, Sid.
Love it. Yeah. There's a lot of us.
And then Catherine, you came in with an alter ego.
Yes, into the wrestling ring.
Yeah, we were allowed to choose our alter egos, and I was afraid of just defaulting to Cat because of the cat. I think Demi chose the cat. And then Tari chose the dominatrix. That was very true to her.
Listen, she was right there until she starts stumbling over those shoes.
But it made for good television. It made
good.
that ring was really buoyant.
Bouncy, yeah. It
was very buoyant. And so for her, and those things were like this. And so she chose hers. Denitra chose her cosplay. I wanted to choose something that, was reflective of me. I'm a goddess.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Not a queen. I'm a goddess. Yay.
Yeah. I'm going to say this is totally surprising because we didn't see any of whatever you got. Like we saw all of it when it came out. So we didn't see their entrances. We didn't see any of that. We didn't see, Thaddeus wrestling. We saw none of that. When we come in, it was the first time that we come in. And then we're like, oh, there's some other new ladies here, and they were in costumes. And one of my thoughts was, were they actually wrestling? But turns out, thank God.
Watching him wrestle was pretty intense. That was.
Oh, when he smacked him, I thought,
oh my God.
Yeah, so we saw that live with the rest of y'all, and the rest of the queens were definitely in the dark on that.
What would you be, Bree, if you had to dress up? You did it in the backyard.
I cannot. Catherine is on here trying to like spill all my business and tell everything. That's fine.
I was going to ask anyway, like you had your alter ego. Do y'all have an alter ego in your real life?
My alter ego in my real life would probably be, I think that I am a mega hip hop rap artist. Like I'm Meg Thee Stallion. I'm going to be Cardi B. That's what I love to do.
Oh yeah.
So
that's bars. You want to share with us?
No, I don't have, none of the bars are mine. I'm just sing their songs. So yeah, that's all I'm doing. I have no bars. The only bars I attend are the ones for cocktails. I'm not giving out no hip hop, no street beats. This is not giving Foxy Brown or Little
Part two. We got you.
Mm-hmm.
I would say my alter ego would be like a mob boss or something like that. I've always wanted to play that as an actress, like a mob type.
Yes.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I have to ponder that one for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Kat, you walk in the room.
Mm-hmm.
What were you thinking when you seen the Tyson Beckford sitting there in that? Because you guys didn't know who your kings were going to be.
So first of all, Tyson is delicious. He is a delicious chocolate man. He is absolutely everything we all have dreamed him to be. So when we walked in, of course, I noticed him because I wasn't familiar as Carlos. Carlos is large. Like he's a very gentle giant type, very laid back personality. He can be fun and vibrant, but he was kind of chilling in the cut. And Tyson is just fine. And he was kind of scoping us out. And so I said, okay, we can work with these kings. Yay. So that was my first thought, was like, okay, we have a good set of kings.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. Bree, what about you? Who caught your eye when you first, showed up on the basketball court?
So when we first walked out, because we had to do our intro like 2 or 3 times because the way they smoked the intro tunnel or whatever wound up being too much. So we had to do it twice. So we saw them first when we did our first intro. And we were just like, oh my God, Tyson Beckford. So we all knew who he was. And I was like, who is this other taller, light-skinned guy who looks like an older version of Drake? I was like, okay, I don't know who he is.
Oh my God.
And then I know, because it was like it gave the beard and everything. It was just like the way that he was standing there. It had nothing to do with his personality. I love Carlos. He's nothing like Drake, but that's what we saw at first. And I was like, who is this? I was like, first of all, who is this chocolate guy? Like, I was like, the arms are giving, and there's teeth and a beautiful smile. I was like, I don't know what's happening here.
And the gloss, his skin.
You talking about Thanos?
I am talking about Thanos. I was like, okay, great, great smile. Okay, so yeah, the arms glistening. It was a real moment there. And I was like, I don't know who the other two are, but I know who Tyson is. And I was like, okay, great. So when
this is gonna be fun.
Yeah. So when we did our mixer, it was a little chaotic for our mixer when the first group of ladies joined us, because they came in like, I need to talk to you. I need to talk. So we didn't really get to talk to them immediately. We were just like, what is going on? Like, these girls seem real territorial. Like, did they not know that there were more people coming? But eventually we were able to, chit chat and talk. Ariel won the date with Thaddeus, so they immediately chatted. Carlos was kind of mixing and mingling. We didn't know at the time that he had made that connection with Janae. And Tyson was mixing and mingling at the table with the with the fruits at first. And I was like, oh, okay, great. But he actually was, trying to chat with pretty much everyone. So that was my first impression, was like, what's going on here? Who are you? Like, that was basically what it is.
What was the energy like with the OG queens? Like you, Bree, you were in the second string, and then Catherine, you came in on the third string. So what was the energy like when the queens came and entered the room?
I'll go first, and then I'll let Catherine go since I experienced them first. It wasn't the coziest reception for my group, only because we didn't know that they were there. So when they finally came in, we're just like, oh, okay, so new queens. And they were like, what new queens? This, and that. And then, then it was like this whole, like, I need to talk to so-and-so. I need to talk to them left and right. So we were like, what is going on here? Like, okay. And then when we finally did get into the house, we're like, okay, yeah. Hi, how are you? It was very formal, very much, okay.
Not warm.
Yeah, it wasn't warm. It's like, I think they were like, okay, like, what's going on? Like, who are these girls? Like, what, that kind of thing, like trying to size us up. And we all got placed into one room. They were already in another room. So it was just kind of like, it looked like it was us versus them, but that's just the setup that it was. And eventually, by the time we'd all gone on our dates and come back and started getting, a little bit more comfortable, it really didn't seem like there wasn't too much mingling across the. Yeah.
So everybody was roommates with the group that they came in with.
Yes.
So.
First two, yeah. But when Catherine's group got there, was there I think there was a little bit of a switch of some of the rooms, but most people just generally stayed together.
Yeah, and to Sid's point, Janae was the only OG. What were we gonna say, Bree? Were you gonna say
Oh
something?
no, it was like, so how did you feel when about the queens when you got there?
I'm so glad we joined together. So Janae was the first, was the only OG that lasted throughout, and she was the only. Well,
Yeah.
I think Felicia never went to elimination, also.
Yeah.
So Janae, I thought that was awesome for her. She never had fear in the house of going to elimination, which is very secure for her. So when I wanted to change. We were still in our costumes. I really wanted to change and put my dress back on because I thought it was kind of goofy being dressed up and seeing the ladies. But they came strolling in and they were mugging us. And I'm looking at them. I appreciated all of the diversity. Not the kings were diverse. If you think of all three of them, they were very diverse. All of the queens were diverse, and all of them were truly queens in their own right. I mean, they emphasized being doctors as being, top tier, but all of the queens had very successful careers and they rocked their domains in their own right. So that was really comforting for me because I thought, okay, this is not going to be like the Flavor of Love and then I could relax. I was like, okay, this is going to be a cool show. But the mixer got weird. It was a lot of drama. And I just remember kind of surfing around, causing drama. I mean, watching the drama. And then I was trying to stir up a little drama myself. But when we got into the house, Bree was the first person to give us the tour. And Thaddeus was like, Bree was like the house mom, like, give him a tour of the house. And I thought that was very nice. It made me feel more welcome because I thought, okay, I'm coming into the house and then I'm looking at this bed, like, who slept in this bed before me? Where is what's going on? But it was very warm. So thank you, Bree, for doing that. I thought that was nice of you. But it was weird because it's hard to harmonize. You're in this bedroom with the other ladies and you're vying for the same attention. You're trying to navigate the schedule of the house, waking up early. Bree was an early riser and doing yoga outside. And, sometimes you could catch some action with the kings earlier if you got up early.
You get up early?
Yeah. Even before the production crew. So it's like, let me get this bonding time in before it's showtime.
Definitely that became part of my game plan because I was up so early.
Mm-hmm.
So you two obviously bonded with each other. Who are some of the other queens that you bonded with during the process? Because, I mean, y'all are all vying for the same man. So that's kind of hard to be bonding with somebody and trying to,
So I would say this. So Bree and I were very respectful. We knew that we were both pursuing Thaddeus, always gave space. If they had a cute moment, I had my phone, I would take a picture. Some of the pictures that she posted, I took. And so most of the ladies gave space. And I think that each of the queens, we have our unique interactions and connections throughout the show. Some ladies I was really close with on the show have kind of dissolved, and that happens. It's been a year. So, but I think for the most part, all of us, we can, inbox each other and say, hey, what did you think about that? And I don't think it's any beef to that level of where there's animosity or hate. There are personality favorites and unfavorites, and we can imagine what those are.
You just did something. Please, what is this thing?
Oh. I did not mean to bring up the spirit of.
I'm glad you did because I was like, what the heck? Is it like home, but not? I don't understand.
No. I think that he did that in wrestling and he would have to answer that. But I guess I'm being teasing. And he is not who I was referring to in that statement about not like, but it's like you're thinking and really pondering over something.
It was your subconscious.
Right. Our body was responding.
Oh my God. I think he told us it's like it's like a power kind of thing. Like you harness your power, something like
Thanos.
that.
Thanos.
Yeah.
Yes, his own personal gemstone is Oh my God. Yeah, so that's what that movie is. But I will say for as far as like the engagement in the house and things like that, there are definitely people like you bond and drift towards more so than others. But I always, like Catherine said, I tried to be respectful of the other queens' time when they were all, when we have to watch the person we're interested in date somebody else in the same house. You kind of have to just be like, okay, this is happening. Guess I'll come back in 20, 30 minutes and see whatever. Yeah. So, cause even Ariel and I, we came in the same group and we wound up like sharing dates and like doing that. So we never really talked about it or anything. We never really had a beef or anything like, well, you can't do whatever. Or, I can't believe you're talking to him. We never had any of those conversations. Like, we knew what we were both doing. We both have different approaches and we're both different people and personalities. So it wasn't like we were trying to sabotage each other in any way. We're trying to build on the relationship and the connection with this man, as opposed to let me be over here all in your stuff or whatever. Like, I was never going to be like, so Ariel, girl, what did he say? Tell me what he said so I can know. For not like, there's no girl chatting. So yeah. You can't really do that in this situation.
Well, I feel like I wouldn't do that either. I wouldn't want to do that. But I also feel like whatever you're doing can't really affect what I'm doing, because my connection is my connection. So you can stand on your head if you want to. That has nothing to do with, how I'm connecting with someone.
And I will say this, I am a slow burn. I like courting. I like observing someone in a group or from afar, just to kind of see how they move. So I was very comfortable in that setting. And Bree and I both, they didn't show a lot of us in between certain episodes, but we were absolutely there. And there's much to be said about what's not seen and just observing, because we were viable in some of the episodes because we did have harmony and because we weren't the drama of the show in those episodes. And we were able to learn and observe. So I think that's important too.
Yeah.
I watch a lot of dating shows and review a lot of dating shows, which is funny. I never thought I would end up in this space, but I feel like they always do that. They cheat us of the dates and the connections because there's a narrative that they're trying to tell, and we don't want it. We never want it. We always say we don't want it, but they do it anyway. And hopefully at some point they'll change that. So Sid brought it up earlier. Kat, what were you thinking when you discovered that you were going to have to break dance for your date?
I was excited. So although I am seasoned, many decades under this belt, I love dancing and I am such an adventure person. I love that I don't judge myself. And so for me, if you notice and you watch the video, I was cheering for them. I'm getting down with them because I just wanted to have fun. I wanted to have good experiences with everyone.
I mean, you're seasoned, but not stiff, because I see some stiffness going on over there. And, that's why you ended up with the date.
They didn't do that bad. It was fun. But, I think that part of it too, if you're in your head, like, this isn't a fun date. So they probably weren't as excited as I was. That's not a sexy date, It's not,
It's a very active date. We had a lot.
It's like, and hip hop is not tango or kizomba or compa, something like that. It's definitely,
it's not close partner.
Right.
No. Yeah. No, but Tyson is kind of wild. I feel like you got to be, you didn't have to jump out of an airplane.
I would have.
I know, but you are former military. So have you jumped out of an airplane before?
And yes, and have. Yes.
So there you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wouldn't have been me.
No, me either. But I did go to iFly because I live in Disneyland. So
I've done that.
I know what that feels like.
Don't know. No, I probably wouldn't do that. So that was one of my questions. They asked, am I a thrill seeker, when they were, I guess, trying to categorize like however many they had for each king. And they were asking like, would you jump out of an airplane or something? I was like, no, I wouldn't do that. So they immediately moved me right on out of the box.
Don't be on that date.
I was like, no, wouldn't do that. No.
Probably a good thing because those two ladies did not really fare long with Tyson. Unfortunately, he said that they bonded really well on that. I thought that is kind of a perspective to almost fear life and death with someone that you do bond.
It kind of bonded together.
He also said he was going to try all the things, all the meals, all the appetizers and everything. So, you know, Tyson was very open with what he was going to do. So, you know, you can't be mad about it.
I
want to, not to defend Tyson. I just love Tyson, but not to defend him, but everyone has their dating style. And we saw it there. Like Carlos was very safe with, he was very comfortable in his first choice. Thaddeus' method is very analytical. He's more of a sapio type. So he wants to get into the questions and
a lot of questions,
like everyone's saying. So it's a different flavor. Tyson, he is about fun and adventure. You know, he's lived a very exciting life. So his method of dating, I think, is just different, right or wrong. It's just he finds that bonding is through doing an activity, you know.
And also, I think it's important for him, especially, he needs to find somebody that is going to be interested in doing all of those things, because if he doesn't have a partner that's interested in skydiving and motorcycles and, you know, sharpshooting and art and archery and, like, you know, whatever, and all of the other things, then it will be hard for them to do things together, because he really does like adventure things. Like, that's just what he enjoys. So I think that's partly why it's so, like, he wanted to get to know, or at least chat and talk to everyone, to just, like, he's a very much variety kind of person of, like, I think that's just his style. Like, he wants to know what it is, what makes you tick, but also what's the fun things that you like to do, because that really speaks to him. So yeah, I mean, I can't fault him for that. It's just like somebody who's really into books and you're just like, I don't read. So how can we be compatible?
That's not going to work. I'm not mad at it, but I would prefer not having a surprise jump out of an airplane date. I would prefer knowing that that's what I'm going to do. Kat, you talk about chess. You're the president of the Detroit City Chess Club. Tell me about that.
I am so proud of my chess team. So my pitch is that, you know, we lose art, music in schools, and not every kid is athletic, but every child can think. I have been the vice president for 20 years. I've been the president for 22 years. And we host chess tournaments, and we mobilize hundreds of kids to travel nationally, internationally to compete. I'm so proud of them. All of our coaches, our family, our staff. And it's exciting. I love chess because it's a life skill. You know, you can meet, and it helps with children who are little bitty, 6-7-year-olds, right? Who may have a hang up with race or age or male or female or, you know, economical differences. But when you're playing that game, it's the bore. And I love to see that for our inner city kids who go off and play and they beat an adult, or they beat, an Asian or whoever. And it's a dynamic that they may have had a hang up about. It's cool to me to see them break that and gain confidence.
Yeah. I love that whole thing. Sorry, just jumping in. I just love the whole idea of, like, teaching kids how to play chess, because, like you said, as far as, like, economically, it doesn't cost as much to just get a chessboard and to learn. Whereas they're trying to keep up with these sports and these activities. It's like new uniforms, new extra stuff all the time. And I know that parents too. So I think something like chess, which actually really works long-term in real life, and you know, and you're not injured in it in any way, is fantastic. I think that's great.
Thank you.
So, Catherine, you said the most powerful piece on the board is the queen, and the most valuable is the king.
Yes.
Do you apply that philosophy to real life?
I do, because it is true. Like, men can be very, you know, we can have multiple windows open and we can juggle and manage all of those. And it's very, reminiscent of how a queen moves. She can move sideways, diagonal, straight forward, however, but men tend to be very focused on one thing, and men are the king, the rulers, of the board, and sometimes women can get a contract, a deal with honey, whereas a man would be clashing. So I do believe that, and I believe that we do support the king. So we are definitely more powerful. We have value, of course. The queen is the largest. Queens are worth 9 points on the board. A pawn is just worth 1, but queens are worth 9. And so the value of a king in terms of points is that he's priceless, because once you lose the king, you lose the game. So if you're always looking to protect your king, he's going to inherently protect you. Mm-hmm. So I think it's symbiotic, of course, in real life. Very symbiotic. It has to be. I have to be supported and safe and have my sanctuary and my king. Mm-hmm. But I think we're losing that in dating, Rhonda. I think that everyone's looking to get what they can get from someone and not looking what they can give. And inherently, when you give, when you approach it from giving, they're excited to give back to you. And men love taking care of what they care about.
I feel like my challenge is I understand the power of the queen. And so I'm not easily led. So that can be a challenge for me. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I grapple with that in real life. Like, you hear the men, let me lead. And I'm like,
yeah, it's kind of for us, it's kind of a piece of vulnerability that sometimes I think, because of the experiences that we've been through and just seeing the way that things go, especially in dating, and how people are acting, nowadays. And it's like, oh my gosh, this is like, the dating pool has nothing but this in it now. You find it hard to be vulnerable with others. Yeah. Because you're just like, I don't want to go through all of this again. So you kind of are, taken aback a lot, and it is hard, but it's definitely possible for the person that, is really intended, that has good intentions. And it's something that, I think a lot of us, even on this show, kind of struggled with and didn't realize like how we come across or how vulnerable or not vulnerable we are in certain aspects of our lives or the stories of our lives that we want to tell and the details that we share and don't share. Some people overshare, some people undershare. Some people say, I'm only giving you part of the story, and I won't give you the rest until later on when I can fully trust you and feel like I'm in a safe space. So it's always a give and take and back and forth. So it's like, yes, we are queens and we want to protect the kings, but there has to be vulnerability on both sides. And I think sometimes we're missing that, especially nowadays. Like, don't kind of make me feel like if I tell you something, you're going to weaponize what I say later on in an argument, or that it's going to fall on deaf ears and you are not going to be able to understand and at least empathize and listen to what I'm saying.
I'm sorry, Bree.
No, you're good.
But I have a girlfriend who's a psychologist, and we were talking about the show, and she said that there was a ton of mommy issues across the board. And I'm one of them too. Like she said, everyone. And in the exciting dinner date episode, I identified even in myself, to your point, Bree, that conversation. I absolutely have my opinions about how that date went. However, to your point, creating a safe space and just being cushioned to listen is so important, so could I have just said, okay, I hear you. Thanks. Yummy. Let's eat. Right. Yeah. I could have. However,
Rhonda says no. She's shaking her head. No.
I say no, but I also feel like had you went that route, then maybe you would probably have stayed. That's what I think.
Well, so I did do that initially. So if you really watch it, I'm just sitting there listening like, what are we talking about? And I'm just trying to eat. I was sitting.
Didn't. Your face was like.
But but I was listening and just waiting. At first, I was like, okay.
Yes.
But to Bree's point, I think that we do have to give grace and space sometimes just to be that soil. So just like he could have waited till later, I could have said, all right, and just waited till later to say my piece. But I heard a ding good round.
I heard it too. It was loud.
It was
Oh my
it
God.
was good entertainment.
So, Bree, I know Cat sign. What is your sign?
I'm a Libra.
Another Libra. So, do you feel like you have challenges with balance? Do you need balance in order to be at peace?
I do in some things. And I think I've probably the way that I live my life is pretty balanced. For the most part, like I don't like a whole lot of silly stuff. But it's like, but also don't piss me off. So there's, I have a good balance of that. I'm a very like fun and jovial person. Catherine is laughing because she has.
She is funny when she's pissed off.
We see the moment.
Yeah, I was upset about some things, but in the house, which they did not show. Thankfully, nobody was in there. And I came in to talk to her, and I started just, going
I was in a conference call.
I was on a call. Yeah, she was on a work call. She was like, "Can I call you guys back in like 5 minutes?" I was like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." Like it was crazy. But yeah, I think balance. The balance part is not like. It's not like, oh, if one thing is out of place, then the whole day is off. It's I think as Libras, we are able to balance out whatever it is. It's like, oh, this is a little tilt, but I can also tilt back. And then, sometimes you just let the outside forces take over. And then next thing you know, you're yelling to someone in a room and making them stop their work day. But yeah, I think balance is.
No, we've seen Idlewives do that with you too. Were you the go-to person when people were flipping out? Like you had to carry the trash out.
What would you say, Bree? I think so. A couple of them. Yeah, I would say so. A couple of them. Yeah. Yeah, mother hen, I guess.
I don't know that that's mommy issues though.
It was Kevin was very easy to talk to, and as far as like somebody being like congenial in the house, that would be her. Like she wasn't standoffish to anyone else, and I feel like you pick up on that energy of like, I think I could talk to her. I'm having a really bad time. She has a kind face. I'm just going to tell her whatever it is. She's going to be like, it's okay. And that's literally what would happen every time. So I don't think that's a mommy issue in a bad way. I think it just shows that you are a great mom, period.
We were the two cooks in the house too. I think we were the only two that cooked for everyone in the house too, Bree. Speaking
oh my God.
Yes. And Bree can cook. You may be from Maryland, New York, and LA, but that fingers and that foot in the food is from down south for sure.
My family is from the south, so I try to honor them whenever I get into the kitchen.
I didn't even think about that. Like y'all had to cook for each other my goodness.
Mostly we would cook for ourselves, but there became like when we were trying to do dinners or something like that, or like, when we had our days off and people would be gone from the house, like then it was just like, okay, I'm going to cook or whatever. And I actually felt really comfortable doing that. It was fun. Like I turned on the sound system in the house and was like jamming. I know they have footage of that. They just don't need to show it because it was a day off, but I was in there like, doing I had a whole concert with myself. Edelweiss was outside at the pool sunning, like she was taking a tan. And I think one of the other queens was like taking a nap and everybody else was gone. And I was like, get down. So yeah.
I feel like we saw that. You brought that energy, that kind of fun up, energy.
And there was something else I was going to say about the house and cooking. It'll come back to me. My apologies.
So what did you guys think meeting Titus's fiance, ex-fiance, best friend?
They were cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was surprising. So we didn't know who we were going to meet before. So when we sit down, we're like, oh, hi, how are you? Whatever. And then you do the introductions. And then they're like, how do you know? How do you know him? Is usually, I think, the question that everybody was asking. So we all got the information pretty much in the same way of like, oh, I'm X, Y, and Z. And it was just like, oh, okay. Huh. And
right. So do you think that would be concerning, like in a relationship situation? How involved is she in the dynamic? And the bonus mom.
Yeah. And, they do talk about, they did say pretty much what you guys saw on the show of how like their relationship was, and that she did help him basically raise his kids while he was, doing the WWE thing and on the road and all of that. But you're like, okay, well, it ended. And we don't have that much time, unfortunately, when we're doing this, because it's a bunch of us that have to shoot the same thing and the sun is going down. But I wanted to be like, so who ended it with who? Like, tell me the details. But of course, also he's sitting there too. So, it's like you can't really get into the nitty gritty of that. But it was an interesting dynamic. I've never had that before with anyone I've met. But I think all of us kind of came through it as graciously as we could, because it's surprising, and you're just like, okay, well, I'm going to circle back to that, but I have some questions right now.
Sure.
Now, it in my observation, it brought to light a lot of things. So it brought to light that Thaddeus was definitely the main character, and that his definition of a helpmate was someone that would add value for sure. And that's with anyone. But to that level, being able to manage the household with him being so busy and things like that. So when I talked with them and I was listening to some of the things that she helped him to do, which I think is beautiful. And definitely we need a village. We need help. And it's hard to trust someone. So I get why he would allow that to happen, because sometimes things just end with people. And she was great. She was great. But I think I learned from him. I said, oh wow, he's definitely has a busy schedule, and he's used to someone taking care of his affairs and truly being a helpmate.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So what did Aunt Bev think of Thaddeus?
What did who? Aunt
Bev. What did she think of Thaddeus?
I wish I could bring her on. Let me see if I can. So when she was there, she just thought he was too exclamation point, and that she thought he would fit in with our family, like at a picnic barbecue setting, because my family's kind of vibrant and fun and loud, but compatibility, she didn't feel that he was, and he was kind of all over the place in the house, and she didn't. Now, when she watched the show, I'd have to bring her on here too. We should do that. We should have our free. And because we're my family is very traditional. We're protective of how men talk to someone, how they treat. And so she didn't like how that the date went. She was like, whoa,
wait a minute. Yeah.
Tell me this. So she had a tough time watching that episode. I didn't watch it with her. She called me and was like, what is this?
And then Bree, your brother, I felt like was very careful and thoughtful with his questions. And so adorable. It was almost like his energy, because you said Thaddeus is an exclamation point, but it was almost like his energy like brought him down to quiet, to this is my sister, so what are your intentions?
Yeah. It felt like the very serious moment in the day of him being like, so exactly what do you expect from this whole thing? But he actually really he liked him. He had a lot of questions, and he was like, I'm just trying to see if this is like for real, or are you over here messing with her and just wasting her time. And I really appreciated that, because I don't really talk to my brother about my dating life, and even though I definitely tell him about his, but Uh, but it actually, for me, it was like, oh, wow, this is like, he really is taking this like
He
serious,
did.
going
He
to be
did.
asking. And he had a lot of questions for him. They obviously cut that out, but there were a lot of questions to talk about, like, you know, my personality and things like that, and that I travel and all of those things, and what he was really looking for. So I think they put in exactly the perfect amount of what they should have on that aspect front.
It was really nice. It was
Yeah.
unexpected, I think.
Yeah, my brother and Aunt Bev, they hit it off. They were hanging out or whatever. Apparently, they went out after this, and I was like, okay,
And Bevan, your brother?
yeah, yeah.
It's timeless. I'll tell you, I bump into people that are younger than I am. They're like, I was just dancing with your aunt at this jazz cafe. I'm like, okay, I believe that.
Yeah,
That's so funny.
I was like laughing at the updates I got later on. They were like, oh yeah, we wound up going to a bar and doing something. I was like, what? You're supposed to be paying attention. Like, what are you doing? But yeah, they had a good time. I was like, okay.
Y'all are in the ATL. You got to get out. There's a lot to do there.
They were like, one night only. We're just gonna go out. I was like, oh my God. I was like, have a drink for us.
So it felt like, you know, during that episode, you actually like created a bond, a closer bond with Thaddeus, and then you find yourself at the elimination dinner. Were you surprised by that?
I was surprised by it. Only because we hadn't had any conflicts or anything. And I know there's a lot of stuff that's cut out. So part of that conversation that they showed of us chatting, talking back and forth, that wound up being about, like, you know, what are our top 3 things in relationships? We were having other conversation in that. And it's really, that wasn't the only conversation we had. I think that's the only conversation that you guys got to see, but we actually talked quite a bit. So we had already had like a good connection and a good rapport and all of those things. You know, and obviously, as Catherine has stated, in the morning time, we got to at least see each other, have coffee, do yoga. He would come and see me before he went to the gym, in my little work office that I had. So it was a surprise that I went, because I definitely was like, well, why can't so-and-so go? Or like, it just didn't make sense as I was getting ready of like.
It didn't make sense to us either.
I remember I was like, what is happening right now?
Yeah, I was like, I don't even understand. The other 2 ladies that were with me at the elimination dinner were like, oh, don't worry, it's going to be fine, baby. No, I'm ready to go. Or, you know, this is just crazy. Like, they had like good reasons for being there, or I think they just kind of felt like they just wanted to go. I know Edelweiss is there, and she had already been like, you know, I just want to leave because I don't feel right here. And they thought that I was going to be saved and safe. And when the decision was made and came down to it, and all of us were, you know, asked to leave, they were surprised too. I was shocked. There's a lot of blinking that I'm doing in that scene. And I think I was trying to like, let me just sit here so I don't either say something crazy or I start to cry. And
we didn't want you to leave yet. We were still like, I was like, cut this one out. This one doesn't make sense. It was a lot of extra, like 21 women to me is silly.
It was a lot.
That's too many. Now, this is probably not a very popular opinion, but I love the schedule. I am not mad at Tyson for like, let me write this down and you know what I mean? And see what's what. All this chasing people around the pool. By the way, I did see Tyson give you a lap dance over at the pool. And I was thinking, honestly, aside from the he still wants to have baby thing, I feel like, I don't know, there is a connection with you and Tyson. And I could see when they were talking about what he wants versus what he needs, I feel like you fit in that category. I could see you like having fun. Yeah.
You know, and I think that, you know, with our age and with the dance, and it was funny because even though it sounds transactional, transferred me over to Thaddeus. So like we did a pivot. He would say to me in the house, because I would say, well, I'm Team Thaddeus now. He was like, no. He's like, I didn't give up on you. Wait a second. He would say that often. And I felt like I gave him space just to allow him to be himself. And I think that that's where Tyson and I bonded. We had very deep talks and things like that. He's often misunderstood, definitely from the show.
I can see it. I see him act different based on who he's talking to. Mm-hmm. And I felt like, Tyson is not having any more babies. I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know. I think that's silly. But I did see, I was like, I don't know. Like when you're talking about what he needs, like for real, you clearly are willing to jump out of a plane and be all adventurous.
To be honest, I kind of feel like they did have Catherine under the Tyson umbrella of like people that would be great for him, because all the things that he is into, she has already done through her military service. Mm-hmm. So she wasn't going to be shocked about anything. She probably was going to be like, how many times can we jump out of the plane? Or, can we shoot this gun? Matter of fact, let's race to see who can put this gun together.
The challenge will probably be
and that's another thing. I love weapons. I'm a shooter. So yeah. So
you probably have to pull back a little bit and let him win this time, because
I totally get it and it makes sense.
Yeah.
That's why you all would be a good pair. And when you all talked and had the conversations that you guys had, mm-hmm. Yeah, I think he kind of mellowed out and you evened him in a really great way. So I totally understand why they would have been like, yes, you're Team Tyson.
Mm-hmm. But I think Tyson's such a vibrant, he is timeless too. Like so it doesn't shock me that he goes after a younger woman, because he likes to do young type vibrant things. And men, that's very common. Men don't want to, they want to feel like they still have it. And I think that he may be going through that Tyson midlife crisis type thing. So
he absolutely still has
it. I sent you the link too. It's a party.
Come on, Ariel. We about to get into the good stuff.
I know. Come on, Ariel.
Girl. Oh my God. Yeah.
Okay. Can you talk about Dr. Kalia and her towel in the middle of your day?
You want to talk about that? Okay. Yeah. Okay. What do we want to talk about?
Okay,
so let's talk about it. So I think there was a misconception about what the issue was in the closet.
Can I say what I thought it was?
Yes, please do.
There were two things that I would have been bothered by. First of all, why are you in here? That's the first thing. Second thing is, okay, don't do that. Don't do that while, And the third thing would be her asking you, are these your things in the bathroom? Because I would be like, don't play with me. That's my stuff. What?
So it makes for good entertainment. I love the scene when I watch it back, because it brings out so much emotion. We all have trauma in this area in some micro way. So this is how I feel about it. Rhonda has to let you in the castle. So come on, Ariel.
Click the link?
He's sending you the link, Ariel. So as it relates to the closet, there's a lot of things at play. So first of all, I won the date. Thaddeus chose me for the date. So I was chosen. Holly said, everyone leave, give them space to have their dates explicitly. We're in the closet. I say, I want you to focus on me. Can you do something for me? And he says, why would you ask me that? This is the very reason why I ask you that. And then proceeds to do the very thing. So I said, starting now. Time starts, and immediately he catcalls. So she comes in. So when people observe that date, if you're on a date with a person, we had acknowledged we were on a date. It had started. We made a team agreement that he would focus on me. And immediately he started catcalling. So it really wasn't Kalia in the towel, which a lot of people think, oh, she's insecure. She's Kalia's testing her. Thaddeus is testing her. I was testing him too, because if I am on a date that you asked me to go on and you are being disrespectful and catcalling another woman, you're not my king. And so for me, he broke that. So when he was at the table and he said, you didn't tell the house, you told me. Exactly, sir. And I said that, but it was edited out. I said, exactly. I told you, you broke the team agreement. So my issue was more about him breaking the agreement that we made and giving space to another woman. Because if I'm dating you, don't give another woman the satisfaction of having your attention. And then I was over it. I was ignoring her. I kind of laughed and turned toward the hangers. I was like, okay, I know what this is. I know this play. And then she knew my things were in the closet, in the bathroom. She was trying to sabotage the date. So for him to not have the situational awareness of what was going on and protect me as his date, I had already made up my mind that he wasn't my king, and I was okay with it. But there was seafood downstairs. I wanted to
look so good.
Oh, it was delicious. It was caviar. It was delicious. And I wanted to honor a full day. I didn't want that to derail. I wanted to get to know him, hear about the therapies that we were cool. We were cool in the house, no conflict between he and I up until that point. And I was excited just to get to know him and honor a date and to finally have a sexy day. Like we had the dancing and the throwing and the this and the that, to finally have a sexy dress up one-on-one date.
Dinner date, like a romantic little dinner date that
all set up to be so perfect.
Yes. Yeah. So that was my issue. It was more about him breaking the team agreement. And I think we all look at that and observe it and we say what we would do different. And it makes for good entertainment, like I said. So I don't have any issue with him about it, but it's good conversation.
Yeah, that's fair.
I have an issue. Well, because he came over there and I feel like you were already past it when he came through. Dr. Ariel, I sent the link to your Instagram. I'm not that technically savvy, so
I texted to her again. I hope
she said she was in the waiting room. I didn't see it. Because usually it'll pop up for me.
Uh-oh. You're not maxed out. We done maxed you out. I love that you get ladies join my interview.
Oh, the Queen's Court. Hey.
We have a mini reunion here.
I don't want to fluff my hair. I'm going to do like I'm going to be coming in running errands. Oh my God.
Thank you, Bree. We can go to Sis next. We're next. You're next, Sis.
Oh, Sis says she ready.
That's going to be a trip too.
Oh she gonna have all the questions.
Oh my God.
So this is what bothered me.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like you were past that already. Whatever happened up in that bathroom, I am so over it, so then why are we talking about it now?
Mm-hmm.
And what was the point? What was he trying to prove?
Yeah, I think he's a sapio. He likes to talk about the scenarios and he likes to express what he doesn't like. He likes to command it. And I think when he talked about it in the apology, it was his delivery that was difficult for me. It was so aggressive. It was hard for me to take it as a conversation. It felt like it was chastising. And I'm thinking, you're the one who wrote it. Why are we talking about this part when this is really the issue here?
Yeah.
He said confident, competitive, and you speak your mind. Now, do you feel like, hey, Dr. Ariel?
Hi,
welcome to the chat. I was telling Catherine when I first started, the boys are always interested in having an interview and the girls do not. So I done made up for all of it because he's over here today. I'm like, and I'm not just him. Like, I feel like a lot of men do that. They tell you all of these positive things about, you're confident and all these things. And then when you show them that, all of a sudden it's a problem. And he did it with everyone.
Everyone. Maybe not Brianna.
No. I didn't see it.
Brianna.
No, we didn't have that.
Except you saying you're going to tie him up.
Which, you know what? And I'm mad at that. That, you know what? The editing team, I know y'all, because that wasn't even a part of the conversation that we were having.
Then
We
you
were
acted all shy afterwards.
we were literally wrapping up, like they taking like getting the cameras up out of the room, and he said something first to me, and I said, "Well, would you let me tie you up?" And that's what they caught in that. I said, "What happened to all the meaningful things we literally just said?" Like, that's all right. I borrowed Tari's whip for like it was a whole thing. Like, you know what? That's all right, editing team. I got y'all. That's all
I
right.
know they did you dirty, Bree. They did.
I was like, yeah, I was like, dang, I'm like, it's fine. It's okay. I was like, I'm out here looking for somebody to match my freak. That's okay. Y'all just
I mean, you could, but that's a different conversation.
it wasn't even the conversation we were having.
So why do you think that is? Why do you think that men, because he's not alone in this whole, I love all this confidence thing, and then get all intimidated by it in the end?
I think it's one of those be careful what you ask for thing. I think people ask for a lot of things that they don't actually know what they're asking for until they get it, and then they're like, oh, okay. Because I would say the majority, if not all of the women on the show are confident and successful, and we are capable. We also, what comes with someone in being successful and confident also comes with someone who is opinionated and is going to express their opinions in whichever way they're going to. We like to talk and debate, and we're very either decisive, or we want to, lay out the plan and talk through the argument, or have our own opinions, our voices be heard. And I think that part is the part that men are missing when they want somebody who's strong and confident and standing on their own. They don't want anybody lazy. Well, that's great, but also you're getting a full person. And I think they forget that a woman who is all of those things that you want is also going to call you on the carpet, hold you accountable, ask you to do things, ask you to be supportive, and not always in the power position every time. It has to be a back and forth. I told a friend of mine, like, it is really a yin and a yang. Like, you can be the sun, but I'm going to be the moon. And guess what? The sun trades places with the moon every once in a while, and you need to shine on me. And I think a lot of men don't think like that. They think it's just them. And it's really hard to kind of internalize that and accept it, because we live in a patriarchal society where men should be getting everything they want and a woman should just be kind of in the back. Those days are over.
Well, thank God for that.
In the boardroom, or you want a doctor or an SVP. That's not going to happen. We're not going to be like,
you can pick that. You can pick that type of submissive woman that's willing to, allow you to shine, but they go specifically for women that are not that. Right. I know with you, Ariel, he was like, oh, she's feisty and I like it. And then you got in trouble because you had a back and forth with someone. I feel like I said, I like the list. However, if I'm already in the door, I don't want to write my name on the list now. I was already here. So you were having a back and forth with somebody that's very spicy.
Yeah.
And then you got in trouble.
I think in the whole trouble thing, and as I saw that episode, air for the first time, I was like, that was not that big. Like, it was this small. So according to a pop-off, I was like, that wasn't a pop-off.
No, it wasn't a pop-off. And then he was all on some, I don't know if you're going to know how to act when we get.
Yeah, I was like, I thought it was so blown out of proportion, because I was like, I was just having a conversation. And because she asked me a question or whatever, she addressed something to me, I was addressing her back. And then the other part to him is he said it in front of everybody. So it's like, what I didn't like about that was he was okay with addressing me in front of everyone, but then he wanted me to pull him to the side in private if I had something to say. So that's where I was like, I just don't agree with that, because you brought it to a public forum, but you want me to not address you in public to show like reverence or respect or whatever that looks like for him. So that's what we were talking about on the side. I was like, we're just not going to agree on this.
Well, he's very open about testing people, which I hate. I don't like the test. And then with Dr. Kalia, who's always like very much in control, he's like, come on, let your ghetto out. Like, so what is it? What do you want?
She was in control.
Well, I mean, don't get me in trouble. Let me just stay.
I don't know, Catherine, was she in control?
So I'm
literally sipping my tea, Catherine.
And me too, girl. Get on. Who gonna spill it?
I'm gonna say there was a little bit of a back and forth there. I think there was a power dynamic, which has been already stated by Ariel. She said that, you know, they are very much a similar personality. There were things obviously that, you know, yeah. I'm talking about.
She said they were a walking TED Talk, and I died. I was crying.
Oh, it's funny.
Yeah, I think there is a back and forth of that. That was kind of like they would challenge each other in these very specific kind of ways, like, oh, like, you know, something would be said, and then it's like, oh, well, then that person's immediately going to do it. So yes, they're obviously moldable and malleable, but then it's just like, oh, but I want you to do this too, and it's just like, we're not I was about to say build a bitch, but we're not building this isn't build a bitch. Like, you're not you're not, you know, you can't just be like, I want you to have this much sass and this much this. Like, you kind of have to take the person for who they are and accept that in the beginning, because we don't know each other. So you need to get to know who I really am. It's like, okay, well, let it out then. That's great. But I don't know if that was what was happening.
So to your point, Bree, I do feel like the men would say, or he would say, you know, be like this. I want you to be like that. I would prefer this. But then they would say, oh, I want you to be your authentic self. Well, that's kind of not my authentic self. And so I felt like sometimes we were persecuted by showing up as our authentic self and not necessarily being feisty. I think it's avocation and just your personal perspective. And I found that the dangerous message for Ariel in the pool, for Dr. Shawana testing herself, being assertive, for Bree testing her sexuality and kind of being flirty because that's what you said you wanted. For myself at the dinner, when I was advocating for myself, I feel like we had to give space to allow them to be who they were, but we weren't given space to allow us to be ourselves. And we were persecuted when we weren't what was expected.
This is another thing that irritated me about that dinner. Ooh, that had me hot. Because he came over there, he blew up the spot, and then he wanted you to take some type of accountability for what had happened over there. And I was like, what do you mean we did? We didn't do any of that. So what were you supposed to be taking accountability for?
I did feel like that was a loaded apology or a loaded atonement, because it was almost like baiting to say, well, I can apologize for my part. And then it implies that I have to give one in return. Mm-hmm. And so, and that's why I worded it how I worded it, because I felt very confident in me being able to speak up for myself, but I apologize if he felt a certain way about it. But like I said, I am going to advocate for myself. And avocation is not being abrasive. If you are allowed to say, I don't like this in the closet, I should be allowed to say what I don't like either. And so some of that wasn't shown. I really didn't like that he was catcalling, because she wasn't on the date with me. He was. And so he opened the window for her, because she kind of ignored him and was doing her own thing with her towel up to her portal.
Her cootie cat
portal.
And but when he said, he catcalled not once but twice. And so when that opened the door, then she felt comfortable to kiss him on the forehead. And then I just thought, okay, this is exactly what, and I said, this is what I'm talking about. But I had moved past it. I was excited. We were having fun going on the date. And to bring it up, I just thought it was bad.
It was bad timing too. So, Catherine, the part that I don't like about that was that you asked for a boundary and you
Yes.
asked for respect in that, and you were respectful when you asked it.
Yeah.
So that's the part that really bothered me, is because you were like, hey, I really don't want to talk about this right now. And he just could not respect that.
He was so worked up. He got up from that table and his chipmunk cheeks was still full of crackers and caviar. And I was like, look at him. He can't. He can't stop.
Always eating.
What was going through your mind when you told him I need to pray by myself?
First of all, I was already praying, and bruh interrupted my prayer. So I was already in prayer, and I didn't. If you see the beginning part, I'm doing like this, shaking my head no to him, like, don't come over here. So he interrupted a prayer. And so a lot of people were commenting on that, the fact that I was saying by myself, like, that says a lot about her if she doesn't want to pray with him. Well, I don't want to pray.
No, I don't want to pray with you. What does that say about me?
Yeah. If we're not aligned spiritually, and I'm not here to exercise, and I'm not saying that he's harboring demons, but I wanted to have solitude with my Lord.
I can't. Oh my God.
He said no. Okay.
Alone. Yeah, by myself. By myself.
Ariel, did you feel some type of way about this scene? Because I know we have not obviously talked about this. We don't do recaps or anything.
Well, first, you gotta, there's a rite of passage. What is your sign?
Oh,
I am a Virgo.
Okay.
Of course you are.
I got a first sign over here.
Okay. Yeah.
So, Ariel, after it happened, do you want to say what happened?
Oh, when I came back to the house?
She came and checked on me.
I did. Because what was not aired, and I'm going to say it, I don't care, Bravo. I don't. So he called us, and he was telling us while he was on the date with Catherine of how it went left. And we were like, what is going on? And we're not at the house. So when I came back to the house, I was like, let me go check on her because it sounded very heated. Oh. And I went and checked on her and asked her, was she okay? Because that's what you do. Yes.
What was that for? What was it? He's calling being chatty about the date going left?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Strike number 7.
Wait. So he called you and was like, this date is going horribly. What, please come back? Like,
no, he called me and Kalia, and he was telling us about
the tea. Where is my tea?
Mine here. And he was telling us about the date.
But technically wasn't wasn't he still on it?
Like, he was still on it. Yeah.
Exactly.
They were still filming.
Oh. So he went in that room when he left the table and called y'all to say, she's being mean.
Yeah. But the funny part is I didn't know what happened with her and Kalia before the date started. So all I heard was the aftermath.
So she didn't share that part with you before?
Nope, didn't share that part.
Okay.
No.
Well, and this is the thing, as far as you're concerned, during the later episodes, during the last 2 episodes, I was so annoyed because him walking through love and saying all this stuff, and I was like, he's saying things that like leading into I'm gonna choose you. And I was like, so why can't he? I don't know. I was just very bothered by it. I was like, this feels like a game. Like, why are you leading her to say things like, in the future we can be this and we're gonna be that, instead of, I don't know. I feel like there was a better way to handle things.
I don't know. I think in his head, he actually thought he was making a decision. And I think he thought he was like 50-50 on his decision. While I was speaking with him about this, during that time, I don't believe he was being very transparent with me about his feelings for Kalia. He downplayed them a lot. And a lot. You know that, Brianna. And so why y'all laughing? We're recapping the show.
We are.
So, I didn't have, like, when I saw their session with Holly and Rodney and how he was with her, that was all eye-opening for me. Because He downplayed it so
Because he was being fake with you.
Yes. So he downplayed it to me so much. And I was kind of blindsided by it. I really thought he would have just went home alone. I was wild that he actually chose to leave with her. Like that was alarming.
What were you thinking when she was asking you advice about? I said, what were you thinking when she came to you for comfort?
Listen, that was not her first time coming to me.
That was
not her first time coming to me. And I was like, the first time she came to me, I was like, girl, read the room. Like, I don't want to listen to you complain about Daddy is. We're in the same spot.
What are we supposed to say? What are you supposed to say?
Comfort you? But I feel like her views in her head was like, he should be choosing me. Why isn't he choosing me? He should be committing to me. Why isn't he committed to me? I should be like Janae. And I was like,
and we heard that, yeah.
You was there.
It was wild, and it was wild coming in and just like planting the flag. And I think a lot of us, there was a house full of main character syndromes, right? Like everyone was main character in their own lives, right? But there was this entitlement, and I think the perfect match carried a sense of entitlement. Like I was chosen. It was God and the perfect matchmaker.
Don't forget God.
Okay. Yeah. There was lot. There was definitely a lot of that going.
What exactly was the perfect matchmaker thinking when she paired Allison with Tyson? I can't wrap my head around that to save my life.
I think you said their industry, right? And their age.
They're both in the same industry. She she likes motorcycles and and
he likes opera. He's an opera fan.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
So those were the top
and
things.
The Caribbean roots.
I'm not convinced, but I guess on paper, Tyson is very fun. I just can't see her, like I said in my review, sitting on bars and, doing all that stuff. Felicia and Jennifer, were full on making out. I can't see her doing that. That was pretty much a requirement for him. He said it in not so many words, like, you got me in the friend zone. If you want to hang around here longer, you got to make me feel like.
I know.
He needs a combo. He can't just have it all far left of sexual. Like he needs you still can match intellectually and be grounded.
Well, that's why I said Catherine would be a good match for Tyson, in my opinion. I thought.
You think so too, Ariel?
I think. Yeah, actually, I do. If he wasn't still trying to have kids, I think y'all would mesh well.
Yeah, which may be something that he might not be fully interested in. It might sound like maybe he just says it because it sounds good for the younger girls. I don't know.
I have my theory on that.
I'm not sure.
You want to hear my theory? This live, Rhonda, this live turned up. I'm telling you, we
going on. I'm trying to be like.
We might all get an email tomorrow.
Keep my face straight.
So my humble theory, because I'm a chess mind, I felt when I was there, the thought crossed my mind that Tyson opted to say that he wanted more kids, and he may want more kids, but let's be honest, he's like 53, 54, as a method to draw a line of delineation between younger women and older women. And that was a very clever, subliminal way of drawing the sand between 36 and younger.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I feel like low-key he's tired of that, though. I feel like low-key he really is looking for something for real.
Yeah,
I do. I believe that he is. He's a sweetheart. He's an absolute sweetheart. But I think that much like all of us, we have some work to do. He shared in the show a lot of his traumas. He's had some scenarios that have impacted his trust and being able to surrender to women. We all struggle with that, just trusting someone and their motives and things like that. So, I definitely, he's a sweetheart. I mean, he's very loving. The men in the house are very chivalrous. They took care of us.
I wish they would have shown more of that.
I need more of that.
I do too. And he's a neat freak. So whoever,
his room was like the most pristine,
the counters, like completely dry.
Yeah, he's really,
he's a neat freak. So
So we know that Catherine, in our opinion, would definitely be a better match for Tyson. You ladies were matched with Thaddeus. Is there another king in the house that you vibed with? Carlos, obviously.
Were you vibe with Carlos a little bit at first?
I'm not sure if that was a vibe. I think we were just like, okay, let's see what happens.
We're both tall.
Yeah, it was kind of because in hindsight, I understand what was happening, but while it was happening, while like we had that first meeting at the gym, and all of that, confusion was going on with the other ladies, like pulling them off to the side and things like that. When we finally kind of all sat down, it was him and Carla, it was Thaddeus and Carlos, and the group of us were just asking questions and things like that. So they were like, okay, it's time for you guys to start trying to figure out who you're going to go on a date with. Carlos he spoke to, 3 or 4 of us. And I actually told him, I'm, looking for this or whatever. I also like opera too, or whatever, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, okay, great. I love snowboarding and things like that. And so he was like, okay, I would like to take you on a date. And that's how it happened. I was like, okay, yeah, let's do it. It wasn't until we got back that we realized that the connection
was already locked down.
So there was no time in there.
They need another king then. They should have brought in. They were bringing in extra kings.
Okay. Drink with me, ladies. Since you're in the chat, some of the ladies in chat, who would we think would make a good candidate for season 2? They did a King's Court.
Now I put that in my final review.
Michael B. Jordan. Okay.
I put.
Oh yes, I'm back up. Okay.
Michael B. Jordan.
I'll be on there again.
No, he is not doing
He's not coming. I put Shamar Moore and
But he's not single.
Hill Harper. He's not. He's single.
So Harper Hill lives here in Detroit. I know Hill Harper.
Yes,
okay.
I know. Hill Harper, Shamar Moore, and Michael Strahan. Those would be my
Really? For Michael Strahan.
Wow.
Yeah. Great, Liz. You were ready, Rhonda.
I know.
She was right. She said no MBJ. Okay, well, who? Sid, give us someone. Yes. I had another person and I forgot about it now. So it'll come to me. It'll come. So good questions.
Yeah. But
Marlon is up.
She said Marlon Wayans.
He's a what now? She said
Marlon Wayans is woo. I don't know because I don't know Marlon. Let me just say that. But he is. Y'all seen Scary Movie and him and that teddy bear? Yeah.
Didn't he just have a baby with somebody on his wife or something? He's got other drama.
Marlon Wayans, I don't think so. I have no idea. I know he has a child, I believe.
I need a comedian. That would be great. A nice comedian.
So, the word on the street is Daddy is on the market again.
Daddy.
Would y'all consider that?
Like, are you doing it upside down or here? Look, I'll just throw up my Delta, okay?
Thank you. Go ahead. Thank you.
Here we go.
Next scenario.
Brianna, you have any comments?
Do I have any comments? She was asking, aren't you the one who coined him Daddy? She was asking.
I did.
You did, which I somebody else.
I think so he made his choice, and that is a question for him to ask or answer.
Yeah.
And ask.
I don't know. I'm you're asking if we would ask, like, if this would be like a second go round kind of thing?
Like outside of the process, would you consider it?
He made
Michael
his
Ealy
choice.
is married,
He
Elsie.
made his choice.
Not Michael Ealy.
Michael Ealy?
He's
He's not
married.
a wife.
He is married. He's been married.
Okay.
I answered this already on Claudia's show, so mine.
She said no. She said no.
Oh, when you said no, yeah. I think kind of, yeah. I think choices have been made, and I think also in what we kind of went through and experienced, I think it would be hard to go back to start over because of the scenario that we all met in. So it wouldn't be the same.
He owes me a date.
It wouldn't be
Catherine, you got your husband, okay? He ain't
Huh?
got no date.
Okay.
Catherine
You
got
gotta go act different.
I don't care. I want to eat.
I think he's prepared. Y'all were killing me. Tyson was like, I don't want to hear about all of that right now. Let me go ahead and get this food.
Lenny Kravitz. You got good ones. Y'all got good ones in the
Oh,
show.
yes.
I would come back for Lenny Kravitz.
Absolutely.
I would absolutely come back for Lenny.
Yeah.
And I just want to look at him. I don't even know. I'm like,
Yeah.
whatever it is, just whatever.
It says Nas.
Nice.
I thought he was married.
I think he's single too.
He's
Oh, he's
single.
single? I thought he was married.
I think we should plan the next season.
Listen,
Better
Catherine,
dates.
do you know that actor Trevante Rhodes?
Trevante Rhodes. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
I will go on there for that.
Who
You know
is
that
that? I'm not familiar with him.
Girl, you gotta see.
Oh, Trevante is he's a chocolate brother that you probably will be very much.
Oh, you know the movie Mia Culpa.
Yeah.
Oh yes. Now
Oh.
I know.
He's
Oh,
also
yes.
in Moonlight.
Mhm.
Is it Moonlight at the end? Yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah, he's
What was your favorite episode or activity or scene in the house? Whole series. What was your favorites?
Mine was the pool. It wasn't the pool part. Well, it was the pool party, but when we were girls against the guys in the pool, like actually playing volleyball, which
Yeah.
it was so much fun. Listen. We were so close to beating them, and then they had to get out of the pool. But that was actually one of the most fun experiences because everybody was doing, we were kind of all engaged in the same thing. And it was good to have the girls against the guys.
Mm-hmm.
Don't talk too much about they gonna win. I don't care.
There was only 3 guys.
Mine was actually with you on our date. The phone. I had the best time.
It was actually quite funny. I loved the way that they actually edited that scene because it was not easy.
Yeah.
What about the scavenger hunt? Did y'all enjoy traveling around Atlanta? No.
We had fun. I have a lot of pictures.
Said I did not have fun.
It was rainy. First of all, it was rainy, but we had fun. And
I enjoyed Catherine, but it was like trying to play nice, in a car with someone that you're like, when this is over.
That's how it felt like. It felt like you and Catherine were in the back seat.
Yeah.
And we did rotate. We ended up rotating. I even drove at one point.
Yeah.
I did see that because when you guys left, Khalil was in the back seat.
He was in the back seat, yeah.
I was like, how'd she get in the front seat all of a sudden?
Yeah, we rotated.
Yeah. But it was fun getting out of the house. I think that they should have more dates outside of the house.
Outside the house.
Because it was great getting out of the house and just a change of venue. And just going to the location was interesting because people knew we were filming something.
Yeah.
They're like, what are you guys doing?
And seeing the MLK stuff was cool.
Yeah, that was nice.
I went to college in Atlanta, and that's probably the first thing I seen when I went there, the MLK exhibit. Yeah.
What college did you go to?
I went to Botter Fashion College, which is no longer a thing. But I have an associate's in fashion design.
Oh, nice.
And, the Atlanta Apparel Mart. Atlanta is a very cool city. you know. So I was there for 15 years.
Wow.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
So I can see why your brother wanted to hang out, because it's a lot of fun.
Your
Yeah.
brother was cool too, Bree.
He was so cool. And her brother
Your
fine.
brother was
Get it.
cool.
Whole family fine.
Yeah. The brother was very cute.
Thank you. I'll let him know.
So this was you guys' first experience on a reality show. Do you have a reality guilty pleasure, or do you not watch reality TV?
Oh, I do.
I love Love is Blind and Married at First Sight.
Okay, I do watch Love is Blind. I've never seen Married at First Sight.
It's so good.
That is interesting. I've always thought, what if I could do that? I don't think I could, just because it's too much of a mystery. I like the home shows, the home renovation shows. I watch a ton of those.
I have one that is I love the dating shows. I love Love is Blind and all of that, and I love the home shows and interior design. But one of my, if I have to call it a guilty pleasure, it's going to be Love After Lockup.
Oh my God! Well, Love After Lockup, and I have dropped off a little bit, but oh my God, he got out and he married this girl. And she was calling, this was like maybe a season or so ago, but his mother, I don't know what his name
Yes,
is.
I know which one. I thought you were going to say that. Maybe that's a
His
fight.
mother was like eating gummies and going to church.
Oh, wait, I don't know. The one I'm talking about, she fought the mother. I was like, woo.
No, this one, that's the same season. That's the same season. So this one though was the guy who his mother came to visit. The girl's mother and father were a preacher. You know, they were both pastors, and his mother came to town and she was eating gummies and going to church.
Lord.
This is insane. I have not seen every season because I switched between Love After Lockup and Life After Lockup, and I got on Life After Lockup for a little while. But nothing will ever top Michael, Sarah, and Megan on Love on.
Well, and you know, Michael is from Flint,
so a mess. It was a whole mess. But yeah, that was.
Make me watch this show.
Love After Lockup.
Yeah, I guess I'll watch it, I guess.
It's a mess, but yeah, it's definitely a guilty pleasure.
Yeah.
We lost Dr. Ariel. She went off into the internet bliss. That's all I got for you guys. I'm so glad that y'all came over here to hang out with me.
Sure.
This was great. This was awesome. Thank you guys.
Way better than I ever anticipated.
You're first. We made it the best. Yay.
Made it the best.
Yay.
I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys have next. Catherine, I've seen you out here. Are you entertaining an acting bug? What do you got going on?
I've always been an actress. I come from theater. I started in Maryland, and I've done I have a ton of stuff on Tubi. I have a link that's in my profile that lists a lot of my work. So I have executive produced some films as well, Master Dragon. The most popular one right now is called You Toxic. It's horrible. It's just the most toxic movie ever. But I invest in movies, and they are great because I get residuals every month. So yay me.
Nice.
That's the best part.
Yeah.
Miss Bree, what do you have going on?
Oh my gosh. So I have passed in the fashion world as well. So I just came from Fashion Week, and I have some friends that are designers. But outside of that, I also kind of am still in the entertainment world myself. But I actually do more writing and producing and things like that. I've done some acting, I've done some commercials and things like that. I used to do musical theater a long time ago. So that was where the things that, I was interested in. But now I'm moving more into writing web series. I'm working on a play right now. So hopefully playwright will be added to as well. But yeah, the next quick thing is going to be a short web series that I'm doing. And then the play will happen, hopefully. So yeah.
And
that's so good.
Bree has a good voice.
Yeah.
Yes, I've done voiceovers too. I've done like audiobooks and things like that. Somebody joked one time that they wanted me to be their wake up ringtone because I have a very like calming voice. I was like, I don't know if that's appropriate, but Great.
For the right price, maybe.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
Ariel, you're a doctor. Do you see yourself, on television again in some aspect?
I actually would be open to it.
Well, you got writers and movie makers over here.
No, Catherine, we were talking about this. She was like, maybe you could do acting. I said, I don't know.
Yes, she will. Yes, she will.
I feel like we have a lot of horrible things going on right now, but sometimes I feel like in the light of that, it opens up opportunity for people to maybe find a space, so with, in light of everything that's going on, this might be a good time to go ahead and, create your own reality shows or movies or what have you in a way that it's not edited to create a story. So
Exactly.
I feel like it's Bravo, and Bravo is Bravo, and they got a lot of shows over there, but I don't feel like there's any reality dating shows that are being real, like, showing like what it's really like. This particular show, I've just got caught up in Love Island, and it's a bunch of naked 20-year-olds over there. But I like that, this show was mature, grown women, and dating is real and different when you get grown because you got kids and, real lives. So I would love to see that. I'm here to support, anything that you guys got going on.
Like doing a like set us out into the world and like, oh, we're just put us. There was a dating show like that where they sent a bunch of women to like London and they had like 30 to 60 days to try to find love, like internationally or something. Yeah, it was like a couple of years ago.
Oh, give me a city. We can work with that.
Do that again.
Yeah.
Now, El Cid does that. Love is blind all over the place. I would prefer my love not to be blind, but I think it would be interesting to be open to how dating is, in other places.
For sure.
We should do it. We should do it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now,
Let me know.
Catherine, you can produce.
I will. I got us. I got it. Well, thank you guys
so much for coming over here. I'll be reaching out to you guys and, following your interviews and all of that good stuff. And so like the video, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you when I see you.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.